So that issue must be handled with properly, because we cannot operate the transition of a government, Mr. Speaker. We want to protect going into the future, Mr. Speaker. You cannot use 50 billion and you cannot account for it, Mr. Speaker. These people must tell us where the money is. What they cannot tell us, they gave it to wazee, yet they were using for Azimio One Kenya Alliance campaigns in the Kenya Republic, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Senator Beatrice Akinyi.
Honorable Speaker, allow me just to go straight to my point without deviating to the sentiments by the Honorable Senator Nandi. Honorable Speaker, I rise to make a point on the statement of the Honorable Senator for Kirinyaga, and specifically about the older person's cash transfer. Honorable Speaker, if there's anything the government has done well and had a good intention, it is about this cash transfer. Honorable Speaker, when this initiative was begun with the Grand Coalition government, the older persons in the two pilot areas of Nyeri and Bondo where it began, if anybody would reflect and see how those old people looked like, it was so pathetic, Honorable Speaker. But as soon as this fund was disbursed, and with the time, Honorable Speaker, you saw the honor and you saw the dignity of these older persons that were receiving these funds. Honorable Speaker, I rise to emphasize the fact that this is a fund that has given, restored the dignity of our older persons, and all we may ask for is that, Honorable Speaker, that it should be disbursed in a timely manner. Honorable Speaker, these funds are used for the upkeep of these older persons. If they are to be made use of well with the people that benefit for them, that it must be done in a timely way. Thus, the factor of timeliness. And Honorable Speaker, my take on the fund is that the Honorable Senator asked about when other older persons will be registered. For me, I would emphasize that all the older persons in this republic must be registered to benefit from this fund. Honorable Speaker, because specifically, most of the beneficiaries are always people who have a lot of responsibility, older people that have lost their children, and they take care of grandsons and granddaughters. And Honorable Speaker, if you look at some of the benefits, this amount, however little some of us might consider it to be, some of the people that benefit from these monies have even taken their grandsons and granddaughters to local schools around where they stay. So, Honorable Speaker, as I support this statement, I would like to say that the government must go forth to register all older persons into this scheme, and let the disbursement also be timely. Honorable Speaker, I support this statement.
Honorable Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to request for a statement on the effects of government austerity measures on the hotel industry. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Trade, Industrialization and Tourism regarding the effects of government austerity measures have on the hotel industry. In the statement, the committee should, 1, state the measures, if any, that the government is taking to help the hotel industry to recover from the effects of COVID-19 pandemic. due to low volumes of international booking that has led to closures of several hotels. Intercontinental Hotel, Laiko Hotel, Radisson Blu, and now the imminent closure of the historic Hilton Hotel. 2, explain what informed the recent presidential directive to shove off 300 billion shillings from the current financial budget by, among other measures, discontinuing trainings, conferences, and other events by government ministries and agencies in hotels, which will exacerbate the already difficult operating environment for hotels. 3, table the assessment report done by the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage on how the proposed austerity measures would affect the hotel industry and indicate the measures being taken to alleviate the negative effects caused to complementary industries such as transport, aviation, and agriculture that depend on the hotel industry. 4, state whether the relevant industry stakeholders, such as the Kenya Association of Hotel Keepers and Caterers, were involved in the decision to impose austerity measures, and clarify whether donor-sponsored events in facilities, hotel facilities, will also be affected by this directive. 5, outline any additional policies the government is implementing to seal budget cuts in government, and actions put in place, if any, to ensure that funds are not lost through corruption and tax evasion, which necessitates drastic and punitive austerity measures. And lastly, number 6, table a detailed status report on the successes or failure of such past austerity measures by the past government. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senator Mazayo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first and foremost, I would like to congratulate my colleague for bringing this statement. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, it is not only in the hotels as stated, like the imminent closure now of Hilton Hotel. Hilton Hotel, as far as we are concerned, is an iconic hotel. It's among the first hotels we have had in this country. And it's going to be very unfortunate if the government will allow it to sink, knowing very well the efforts we have made to ensure that we rescue Kenya Airways. Mr. Speaker, it is also it's also important to note that in Kilifi, if there's any place that has been badly affected by this mismanagement of the tourism industry, then Kilifi is one of the areas that has been hard hit. We have hotels like, iconic hotels like Lawford's Hotel. There are hotels like the Whispering Palms. We have the Angels Bay. There are quite a number of hotels which those days, if I can remember, tourists used to be so many in Malindi and Kilifi in general, and the coast, basically. It was a tourist destination. But now, as we can see, it has been neglected. I want to call upon the Ministry of Tourism to wake up. There is so much corruption in that area, in the ministry. And if at all we can, the government can put a lot of concentration on how we can rescue or how we can bring back tourism in this country, then it will go a long way to help or alleviate in creation of jobs, job opportunities, in creation of quite a number of infrastructure in certain areas, and opportunities for everyone. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Senator Boni.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to congratulate Honorable Sotsi, the Senator of Vihiga, for this very important statement. For a long time, agriculture was a main forex exchange earner for this country. And because not too much thought has been put into it, this iconic status has now been lost, and it is being lost to unpredictable products like the inflow of funds from Kenyans living in the diaspora. Mr. Speaker, we need to take it even more aggressively so that over and above reviving tourism as it has been, we should cause tourists to come to Kenya for other reasons other than the big five in our wildlife and our sandy beaches at the coast. Mr. Speaker, if you come to the western part of Kenya, the tourist potential is massive, but it is not marketed as an alternative to the big five. Mr. Speaker, in Western, starting from Lake Victoria, the Kitmigai, going to the Vihiga, the stones, going to the Kakamega forest, going to Elesi stone, the grinding stone of Africa. Mr. Speaker, all the way to the rich culture of Isukuti and bullfighting. There are things that can bring in billions of dollars on a weekly basis, and the product is not being developed. And as if it is not enough, you can see the hotels have collapsed. It is very sad that we understand even the hotel like the Hotel of Mutembei, the hotel like Golf Hotel, they're all going under simply because of people not being aggressive enough. I therefore support and hope that this House will take it more aggressively than just taking it as a statement from a distinguished senator. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Eddy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think that this is a very important statement from the Senator of Vihiga, my brother, Senator Osotsi. And we do understand very well that the government is trying as much as possible to impose some austerity measures, but hotels form a big base. Hotels in our counties, and my brother here will tell you that they form a big base of small and medium enterprises that you see many of the government policies trying to look at, in the sense that if you go anywhere in this county today, the real estate industry in mostly far-flung counties tend to be around hotels. And therefore, we should not look at hotels as mere functions of the big players. But hotels forms a very big base of small, medium enterprises in this country. And trying to put austerity measures that indict hotels that we cannot be able to go to these hotels and do meetings is actually killing the same economy that the government is trying to face. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this, and I hope people like my brother, Matthew, who I know is in the deep state. I want to say this, Mr. Speaker. Our approach to austerity measures in this country is a wanting one. Because what's happening in this country is very simple. We are in a country where it looks like we have a river that is flowing, and there are people who have
Senator
basically...
Kamau, what is your point of order? Okay, proceed, Senator.
Sorry about that, Mr. Speaker. So we do have an economy that works like this. It's like a river where we've got resources flowing downstream. And then somebody has dug dams around this river. After digging the dam, under the dam, there is another porosity that is going on. The policy we are seeing is an attempt to reduce expenses in government. But this is a wrong target, because we know very well that in this country, the income element and the expense element are a function of what is happening in KRA and in procurement, Mr. Speaker. We know that tax collection in this country is what is putting us into serious problems, because we know that the tax collectors, people are paying a lot of taxes in this country, and those taxes can actually be able to finance government budgets. But what is happening is that there is a lot of leakages with our taxes that they don't end up getting to government. Today you want to take 300 billion out of the hotel industry, when actually there is almost the same amount of money that goes to real estate by tax collectors who do not allow these taxes to reach to government. We have got a lot of buildings in this city today called Nairobi that have been built by KRA officials that are picking money and not allow them to get to government. And this is quite known. So we want to encourage the government that the first thing to do is, first of all, to stop leakages that we are seeing in KRA, that the money doesn't get to the government. And then secondly, Mr. Speaker, the value for money that the government is attempting to address comes with serious leakages with procurement officers. Mr. Speaker, procurement officers in this country today have made it impossible for government to get value of money. We go to government staff and you realize that the procurement things that are done there are always inflated to suit people working in government. So my plea with the government is not to target the wrong areas. I don't think that there's a problem with government officials being able to do their meetings in conducive areas, Mr. Speaker. You can imagine, Mr. Speaker, when we were doing the training, we just came from our recess. And when we were doing training in Mombasa, in very nice hotel, and you know, we were very relaxed. I can imagine if we were to all be placed into these chambers, Mr. Speaker, for about the 5 days that we were having, I don't think we'll be as effective as we were. That is the atmosphere that we need to create, whereby leakages and porosity that we are seeing in the procurement and the collection of revenue in this country can be corrected, rather than targeting small and medium enterprises in the name of hotels. And I hope that my brother, Senator Cherargei, will have the courage to convey this kind of ideas to the government. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia maombi ya taarifa kutoka kwa Seneta Ososi. Mheshimiwa Spika, kama tunavyojua nchi yetu ilikumbwa na janga la corona, na vile vile baada ya hapo ukawa na wasiwasi juu ya uchaguzi mkuu ambao ulifanyika mnamo tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 mwaka huu. Mheshimiwa Spika, yote hiyo iliathiri uchumi na hususan uchumi wa utalii, kwa sababu utalii unapendelea mazingira ambayo kuna utulivu na kuna usalama katika mahali ambapo watalii wanasafiri. Mheshimiwa Spika, sasa ambapo uchaguzi umekwisha na uchumi umeanza kufufuka, ndio Wakenya wengi wanapata fursa, na pia mashirika na wafanyikazi wa serikali wanapata fursa ya kwenda katika mikutano ili kuweza kujadili miradi na masuala mengine ya kuendesha serikali. Mheshimiwa Spika, hii kuzuiliwa kwa kufanyika mikutano katika mahoteli itaathiri pakubwa uchumi, na vile vile pia itaathiri biashara ya utalii, kwa sababu utalii mwingi unaofanyika sasa, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni wa mikutano, conference tourism. Ndio utapata ukienda Mombasa hivi sasa utapata hoteli kama Pride Inn imejaa, hoteli kama White Sands imejaa, ukienda hoteli kama Serena imejaa, ukienda Naivasha pia vile vile utapata kwamba hoteli nyingi zimeweza kujaa kwa sababu mashirika mengi na wizara za serikali zinachukua fursa hii kufanya mikutano katika hoteli zile. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, iwapo agizo hili litatekelezwa, ina maana kwamba zile hoteli ambazo zilikuwa zatarajia kupata mapato, kwa sababu mwaka huu wa mwaka 2022 ni kama ambao Mheshimiwa Spika umepotea. Kwanza tulikuwa tuna recover kutokana na janga la corona. Baadaye kukaingia makampeni ambapo watu wengi walikuwa hawako tayari kuondoka mazingira yao majumbani kwao kwenda kutembelea mahoteli kwa sababu ya wasiwasi. Halafu sasa hii serikali imepiga marufuku mikutano katika kufanyika katika mahoteli kama hayo. Hii Mheshimiwa Spika inamaanisha kwamba wale wawekezaji katika biashara za hoteli wataposa kupata faida yoyote katika mwaka huu 2022. Kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, agizo hili litaathiri uchumi kwa sababu mapato pia yanayotokana na biashara ya utalii yataweza kupungua, na hivyo hata yale malengo ya serikali kukusanya zile pesa walizopanga kusanya mwezi wa 6 budget iliposomwa haitawezekana. Kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa swala hili liangaliwe kwa haraka kwa sababu tayari tunaona kwamba tunafikia mwisho wa mwaka na wangependelea kuweza kupata faida angalau kidogo waweze kuregesha rasilimali zao katika mwaka huu 2022. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Kamau.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipatia nafasi hii. Naweza kuchukua hii nafasi pia nimshukuru Senator Ososi kwa kuweza kuleta hii statement. Mheshimiwa Spika, nataka nichukue hii nafasi niseme kwamba utalii, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kitega uchumi kikubwa cha Jamhuri yetu ya Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nimetoka katika kaunti ya Lamu ambao iko katika Jumuiya ya Pwani. Mheshimiwa Spika, unaelewa vizuri kabisa sisi watu wa Lamu tunategemea zaidi uchumi wa utalii. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, utalii ni jambo ambalo Lamu kwa muda mrefu sana tumeweza kujivunia na umeweza kuajiri vijana wengi sana pale kwetu kaunti ya Lamu, na ndiposa Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nataka ni support vile ambavyo waheshimiwa wenzangu wameweza kusema ya kwamba utalii ni jambo ambalo serikali inafaa iditilie ama idichukulie na jambo la uzito sana, ikizingatiwa kwamba utalii umeajiri vijana wengi sana katika Jamhuri yetu ya Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, katika kaunti ya Lamu inaweza kuaminika ya kwamba Lamu ni mahali ambapo kwa muda mrefu sana ni sehemu ambayo imejulikana kwamba utalii umeweza kubombea zaidi, na ndiposa ninataka kusema kwamba hoteli zitakapochukulia hatua ama serikali itakapokuwa inachukua hatua ya kupinga mikutano katika mahoteli yetu itakuwa inaua uchumi wa nchi yetu ya Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi ningependa kusema kwamba kule Lamu tuko na mahoteli mazuri sana. Hoteli kama vile Majlis Hotel, tuko na hoteli ambayo inaitwa Maharusi Hotel, tuko na hoteli inaitwa Peponi Hotel, tuko na Janathan Hotel. Mheshimiwa, mahoteli haya yote ni mahoteli ambayo ni ya kifahari. Na nataka niseme kwamba ningependa kuongea pia Mheshimiwa Spika na bunge hili la Senate. Niseme kwamba huwa ninaudhika sana na nasikitika sana wakati ambapo mikutano mingi inaenda kufanywa Mombasa, Naivasha na Lamu. Mheshimiwa Spika, hatupati wageni kama wale wa Senate ama serikali haitumi viongozi kwenda kule kuweza kufanya mikutano. Mheshimiwa Spika, nataka niseme kwamba ningetaka sana mara hii Mheshimiwa Spika nione delegation ya senators wote na members of parliament wameelekea huko Lamu kuweza kustarehe huko kwa sababu ni sehemu ambayo